Hi, Sunit.
Hello.
Thomas. Hi. Inkpori, how are you? Or is it Simon? Should I call you Simon?
Simon's got his mic on mute. Morning, everyone. Morning, Tammy. Morning, Thomas. Okay. Looks like we've got a few people in the room.
That's great. Is it Simon or is it Nkobodi? Okay, anything goes.
Nice,
Guys,
Simon.
I'm going to just give a few more minutes for the rest to join. Please, if you don't mind having your camera on, it would be awesome if your bandwidth allows and the load shedding allows as well at this point. But we'd love to engage with you and see who we're chatting to. And please make sure you've got your coffee. I've got my coffee. We're having a coffee break.
I'll put mine on at 10 just after load shedding.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Mine is going to go off. So if you have a break, I don't think I should have a break, but hi, Simon.
Thank you for having your camera on, Simon. We can see you're fine.
Awesome. We need some of those smiles. Michael, good to see you. Well, see you online, put it that way. I hope you're well.
Hi there, Angela. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Hi. You're very soft, but I think we'll manage as we go along if we battle to hear you.
Okay.
Morning, Michael.
Morning.
Johan, hi.
Good morning, colleagues. Just quickly sorting out my PC here.
Oh, shame.
Let me see if I can get my camera running here. Just need to rearrange some things here. Start video.
Morning, Johan.
Morning, can you guys see me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for
Great
having your camera
stuff.
on. Awesome.
Yeah, glad to finally meet you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Friday is a bit of a difficult day. I had to reschedule another meeting just to at least join this one. I think I missed 3 or 4 already.
Well, thank you for prioritizing us. We feel very special today.
That's good. I'm also quickly going to get a cup of coffee. Then I'll be back.
I'm also quickly grabbing some coffee.
Excellent.
can't hear a thing and I don't know what's wrong. Speakers.
Z, I see we've momentarily lost Angela.
Okay, I was about to check if she's still with us. I didn't realize she's dropped off. Let me just see if I can check if she's okay on, it could have been the power issue, but I think we should kick off.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we have a few people in the room. I know a couple are getting a cup of coffee. Okay, let me just check. Apologies everyone for the delayed start. I just want to make sure that we can still get Angela back on the call, and then we can kick off. We do have quite a couple of things that we want to run through. So let me just see if I can get a response from her. Otherwise, I'm happy to kick us off. Let me just see if she responds. Okay, she's joining us shortly. Welcome back, Johan. I don't know if I said good morning to everyone else that's in the room. If you can have your camera on, it would be great. If not, because of bandwidth or load shedding or any other reasons, that's perfectly fine. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Sorry about that broadcasting break. Anyways, sorry, Z, we're kicking off. Apologies.
Absolutely fine. I'll hand over to you to kick us off.
Awesome. I'm just going to try and project screens. I am not too familiar with the use of Zoom. I'm a Microsoft Teams person, but if all goes well, if something is not working, please let me know and stop me and I'll try and correct myself. Is everyone seeing my presentation? I also have lost the use of my second screen, which is making me feel very lost.
We can see
Yes, we can see your
Angela.
screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a in presentation mode?
Yes, it is. And don't worry, you've got backup if anything happens. I'm here. Angelique
Okay.
is here as well.
Okay, great. Let me just see if I can navigate here. Just switch my other phone, PC screen off. Okay. Is the presentation advancing, Z?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. It's so awesome that we can engage. I'm hoping that it's not going to be in the old days, it was a chalk and talk. Now it's a death by PowerPoint. I hope we're going to have more chatting than looking at slides and reports and what have you. But we thought that we'd take some time just to give you some feedback following our survey. But before we go ahead, let's just have a look at what we're going to be doing today together. So we'll introduce ourselves in a moment. We'll give you some feedback from the survey that we conducted in the GP region in August. We are going to have a look at the key learnings from that survey response, and we're going to have a bit of a chat around that. We'll do a networking exercise around that, and you can have some extra time just to get to know one another, connect, and then we'll have some feedback from you guys following your engagements together. So I am Angela Schultz. For those who are not familiar with me, I'm chair of the Gauteng region of the ASDSA. I'm here to assist you in whatever matters that you are facing that is specific to the Gauteng region, but in skills development in general, I'm most happy to offer you my assistance. I've been working in skills development for many, many years in various ways and forms, from the sort of ETQA side of things, from just the training provider engagements with the CETAs, and now I am at Standard Bank as an STF at Standard Bank. So that's me, and I'd like to hand you over to Z to introduce herself.
Thank you, Angela. Good morning again, everyone. My name is Nozintle, Z, as Angela calls me. Cassaville, I am her support. I am the Vice Chair of the GP region. Just a little bit about myself. I'm currently a Senior Learning Consultant at GP Strategies, that's based in the UK. I currently serve a multinational bank providing learning solutions, and have been in learning and development for over a decade, serving clients in South Africa and Canada in skills development, leadership development, change, wellness, and dispute resolution. Previous to that, I worked in roles in the nonprofit sector, aviation, FMCG, financial sector, and hospitality. So I have a personal agenda for skills development. I'm a mentor, and I've also pursued my own skills development. I've got a master's in business administration. I'm also a facilitator and an assessor, and I'm really excited and looking forward to engaging with you all today to know about your capacity, your role. And I'm happy that the first session is a networking session because it gives us a chance to get to know each other a little bit better. That's it from me. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much. I'm going to introduce Angelique in the background. She probably won't come on camera, but she's just assisting us with all of the technicalities. As I said, Zoom isn't my platform, so she's going to be doing all of those technical clever things. If anyone wants to introduce themselves to the group, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, we will move on. I'll give you a few seconds just to, if you want to unmute and say hi to everybody, you're welcome to do so.
Yes, I can go. So
Hi,
good
Johan.
morning, colleague Johan du Plessis. I'm currently with Sasol. This is actually my 27th year with Sasol.
Wow.
Started my career with Sasol. Yeah, I don't know if you must be happy or sad for me, but in any case. Yes, so I spent my first few years in the operations environment, after which I moved to the skills academies or the training centers, the technical training centers, where I actually started off as a junior learning practitioner and then worked my way up. And then I actually managed the technical skills academies across SA South Africa. So main accountabilities responsible for artisan development, making sure that our talent pipeline is healthy. And yeah, just a few years ago, after another big restructuring, I was then formally appointed as the Sasol Primary SDF. So my portfolio currently includes all the learning related legislation, skills development legislation. WSP ATR is part of my portfolio, and then also all our accreditations, which is currently a huge drive with the migration from the NQF to the QCTO occupational qualifications. So yes, skills development provider accreditation, trade test center accreditation, workplace approval for all our sites. That's all part of my portfolio. And that's me.
So lovely to meet you, Johan. And the trade testing side is a part of skills development that I haven't explored too much. So I think we can learn a great deal from you. Welcome.
Absolutely.
Okay, you are welcome to introduce yourselves once we are finished our journey on the feedback, survey feedback, and you will also then break out into smaller rooms to introduce yourselves to one another, should you wish to still do so. Let me try and progress again. So we just want to run a quick poll, if you don't mind. We just want to check who in the room actually did participate in that survey. I recognize a few of your names. I also recognize a few of your names that I battled to get an email through to. So please let us know if you managed to participate in this Gauteng survey. Okay, we've got equals equal, even Stephen, and the yeses are take. This is entertaining to watch this poll.
Yeah.
I think we've got 100% answered, and just over half of you did actually participate in that poll. We'd love to hear from the balance of you. But I will explain the challenges that I've had in a moment. But yeah, it was a challenge to get just an email through to you guys. Have you guys, can you all see the poll results, or is it only me? Because I've got an option to share the results, so I'm not sure.
I can see them.
Can you? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so we'll stop sharing then the poll, and we will move on. So I'd like to go through the results of the survey from those who did respond. We had 35 responses in total. We sent the survey through to both our acting members as well as those who are pending membership, because we'd also like to know from our newer members, once you are admitted to ASDSA, we also want your input. So we didn't approach any of the members who have perhaps left ASDSA, and that's a whole other project that we'd like to delve into once we have a chance, is to approach those who have possibly left ASDSA, because I think they would also have some very valuable input for us. So that was a 22% response rate. I think in the greater scheme of things, I don't know what the average is, but I think that's not too bad of a response. One of the challenges I found predominantly was that some of the email addresses were just not working. So apologies if you didn't receive the survey invite. But if I could ask you please to double check on your details with Angelique, just to make sure that we've got your correct email address. I know from the bank's perspective, I think people are getting very strict on their access into, especially the larger organizations. So we will sometimes have a block. I had to change the survey a number of times to take out, for instance, the word survey. Then sometimes it went through. So I think it's all sorts of tricks that the IT departments play on us. So perhaps it's better that it goes to your private mail than your business mail. Okay, so I'm going to switch over now. I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'm going to actually open up the report that we received regarding the surveys, if you don't mind, as it's just easier because it gives you the view of, the pretty pictures around your feedback. Let me just share again and see if this works. Otherwise, Zia may have to, would it be easier perhaps if you shared and I just talked to it? Now with my load shedding, it's difficult without my second screen.
I'm happy to share. I've just got the presentation deck.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let me share in the interim. Perhaps you can open it up and then take over the driving seat. Share screen. Okay, here we go. All right, are you seeing the survey? I'm on
Yes, we are.
question 2.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. So we just wanted to ask you, what is your primary focus area of your work? We wanted to know if we're dealing with training providers, are we dealing with single business SDFs, consulting SDFs, perhaps assessors, moderators, facilitators. We do know that you are sometimes multitasking, you've got your feet in a couple of things, especially if you're running your own small business. But yeah, we just asked the primary focus area. So that was our response, and it's pretty much evenly spread across the training providers and SDF consultants who are managing probably the WSP challenges, and alignment, it seems, is a common issue. So that's who we are as a province with the feedback that we've received. Then we wanted to know, who are the SETAs that you are predominantly dealing with? As you know, there are many. And so we we suspected it was services SETA, and I think that's what came out. Yes, services SETA, way up in front. This is just helpful for us from an engagement perspective, because we are looking at engaging more often with the SETAs. We've initiated a SETA CEO forum that we're going to be sort of formulating, and then we will discuss the common trends that we find within ASDSA, the concerns that our members have. And so we wanted to know, who should we actually make sure we've got in the room? And definitely services SETA. We've also got, I'm sorry for the colors are a little bit difficult sometimes, but I think it's bank sector that's second place there. And then the green ETDP SETA, assessors and moderators probably engaging there. So yes, that is our focus areas in terms of the SETAs. We've asked you, what benefits do you gain from being a member of ASDSA? We wanted to know, what is attracting you to becoming a member? So perhaps we can then broaden our member base and become larger and make ourselves more effective and have a broader reach in the country. And so definitely ahead of the curve was the information sharing. People are loving that. I also personally love that, especially the WhatsApp groups. We get, highlights of many things that we should be focusing on. So that's awesome that it's info sharing is leading there. And then the networking is a second place. So yes, apologies that we're not doing this more often, and we will drive and make sure that we engage far more often as a Gauteng region to ensure that we are meeting your needs and you've gaining the benefits that you've wanted to gain from being a member.
Angela, can I just jump in?
Absolutely.
To just check, especially with regards to the WhatsApp, because as you've mentioned, you find that quite useful, getting the information. So I just wanted to maybe check in with the room to say or ask if everyone is part of that group and whether they are getting the messages.
Lovely. Thank you. That's very good.
If you're not in the group, please let us know so we can make sure that you're included, because a lot of information does take place through that platform.
May I please ask that you add me? I'm not on the WhatsApp group.
Okay,
I recently
perfect.
joined, so I'm not.
So Nick, would you mind dropping your just to
If
make sure
I
that we've
can-
got your cell phone number maybe to our email
Sunette,
address?
Okay.
From ASDSA side, when you got your membership certificate,
Yes.
there was an attachment to that email with the links to the WhatsApp group.
Okay, let me do that. I'll just go back to the email.
Okay. Thanks, Annette.
Please let us know if you're battling. You can address your email to gp@asdsa.org.za, and we will see what the challenge is from our side if you are battling with that. Thank you. Thanks. for that point. Great. Okay, then we wanted to know what sort of events are you wanting to actually have with the ASDSA? We wanted to know if this virtual sort of environment is suiting you, or if you prefer the face-to-faces. I think most people sat on the fence on that. They said virtual most of the time, and yes, I think in our busy lives, especially with your people that are running their own consultancy, it's time is of the essence. So yes, virtual most of the time, but you also want to engage face-to-face, which is awesome. So we will make sure that we arrange then the occasional face-to-face session that you are asking for. We asked if you had selected the face-to-face, where would you want to have our events? Because it was quite difficult from the information we have on you to see where you are based, so that we could sort of have have our events in a convenient location. So I think most of us are focused on the Sandton and the East Rand. So it looks like we'll have to make arrangements for those specific areas. It's not to say that we won't host in other areas. We also are have our cost constraints. So if the Sandton event is going to cost us a packet, we may have to opt for somewhere else, but we will try to stick with that. Then we had what time slots are best for you to attend any events. So that's the virtual as well as the face-to-face events. It was predominantly the weekdays in the mornings, yeah, with a couple of people being quite flexible anytime. There were quite a few calls for weekends or outside of working hours. So we can't neglect those individuals. But I think for the most part, weekday mornings are the predominant choice. Then we had the questions, what do you want to see more of as a member of the region? I just want to swap back to my presentation, please. I'm going to quickly find it.
Angela, I can share it on my side if that's going to be quicker.
Please, thank you. Thanks very much.
Let's see. Can everybody see presentation mode?
Not presentation mode. No, it's presentation mode. Yes, thank you. That's perfect. So I did a quick word cloud to see what were the comment trends in your comments on what you want to see more of. So we asked two questions: what do you want to see more of, and what were topics of interest were you interested in? So I sort of combined the feedback because it was qualitative, so it's difficult to share with everybody the comments. But just from a trends perspective, a lot of you guys are new to the ASDSA, which is very exciting. So I think once you get your feeds, you'll be able to give us more guidance on what you want to hear more about. So welcome all the new members. It's very exciting to have you. Then very, very common was the QCTO focus area. I think we're all a little bit lost with the QCTO. We do our best with it being new, well, not so new, but with us having to now comply to it, it's becoming more and more relevant to us as practitioners. A lot of you guys were saying you're happy as it is, so that's awesome news. I'm glad to see that it's working for you, but you're welcome to contribute anytime if you feel that we are neglecting a very critical subject that you'd like to have a discussion on. Then a lot of people are enjoying the networking side of things. So again, we need to do a little bit more of that networking, whether it be virtual like this or in person. They wanted to also have a view of sort of more strategically, what are the trends in skills development? Not only, some of the feedback was not only in South Africa, we want to see skills development more broadly in Africa, rest of the world. So yeah, that's an interesting topic. And then legislation was also very common, and support from the ASDSA around how to, if you've got a problem with the CETA, or if you don't know who to approach, perhaps at the QCTO, that support we're asking for. I do find there's a lot of support had on the WhatsApp group. If someone puts it out there and we need an assessor for such and such, or who do I speak to at ETDB CETA, or whatever the case may be, everyone sort of jumps in. So it's awesome to have not only the ASDSA as the association, but the members themselves actually supporting one another. It's very collaborative. So yeah, keep an eye on that WhatsApp group. And if you do need support, throw it on there. If you're still battling, you're welcome to approach either Z or myself. Other topics came through, not so predominantly, but a very relevant comments. The tax rebates is always a common issue. The methods that the CETA uses help on how to do things, maybe how to on the WSP platforms. That was also one of the commonalities, was the platforms and the IT structures that these CETAs have. That was a frustration. You needed support on driving change in that respect. Training provider support. So that would probably be on the accreditation side, perhaps maybe looking for assessors moderators. Then strategic projects. You want to know, what are we focusing on strategically at the ASDSA? So I think that also speaks to our networking. Then the CETA MIS was part of that CETA methods and processes structures. That was an interesting one. And then someone commented the mental health. We are, as a practitioner, it's a high pressured environment, and I thought I should bring that to the fore, because we are, especially, well, I'm speaking for myself, there are a lot of other pressures, but for instance, WSP times, sure, you got to keep it together. So mental health is an issue that somebody wanted raised and perhaps tackled from an ASDSA perspective. One very valid comment was a calendar of events. That's such a simple ask, and yeah, that would be helpful to our members to know when we are hosting what. So that's something that we can quite easily meet the needs of. So yes, that's the sort of qualitative feedback that we've received. So looking at all of this, we'd love to know a little bit more about you, to meet you and have a chat with you. And we'd love for you to discuss as sort of a topic of conversation, but you're welcome to deviate and just get to know one another. This is a networking session. We want you to go into breakaway rooms, and we want you to discuss, now that you see the feedback, what do you think should be our priority focus areas in the Gauteng region of ASDSA? So I'm relying on Angelique, who's going to be sending you to your breakaway rooms completely randomly. So enjoy. Z and myself will try and pop in and out and just be a fly on the wall. But please enjoy yourselves. Have your coffee, engage, and we'll see you back in the main room in a few minutes.
Thank you, Angela. I will start sharing now.
Angela, I'm just pausing the recording while people are in
Thank
the
you.
breakout rooms.
Look at the areas that came out from the survey. What is your sort of thoughts around what we should prioritize? Please feel free to chat, type on chat. I will monitor the response. And while we wait for Sharon to respond,
and for joining us today. We will touch base with you separately on the survey that you've requested. Thank you very much. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys before you guys have to drop off. We did make it an hour and a half, thinking that, you know, we just need a little bit of extra time. And, you know, often when you go to these actual networking sessions, it just carries on because the conversation flows and what have you. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of extra time for the chat, and we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you've got somebody from your room that would like to just feed back to us what you have decided should be the predominant focus areas for us in the Gauteng region, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll go. So from my group, so I'll give the one suggestion we had, and then my teammate can give the other one. So the first one is, so I would like to broaden my knowledge within skills development. I am an SDF, but I'm only an SDF for construction. So I'm at the construction SETA. I would like to broaden my knowledge into services SETA and all the other SETAs to become a consultant. And you can do that on your own, but you need help and assistance with questions you might have or whatever the case may be. So we wanted to suggest that anyone who would like to, so it's not compulsory, to give their details and say, listen, my name is Sunette, I'm an expert in the construction SETA. And if you have any queries, you can email me or WhatsApp me or whatever the case may be, and we can set up a time and just give some rule of thumb, stuff that's worked for you that hasn't worked, or just where to begin this whole process. So that is something that we had, because we don't know who in this forum is, okay, I don't know, let me say, I don't know, who is with which SETA, who has knowledge in what aspect of skills development. So that would be nice if they wanted to have that list to say, listen, this is an expert in services SETA or in workplace skills plans or whatever the case may be. So that was one of the suggestions we had.
That's awesome. So sort of like a mentoring structure.
Yes. And
for
it's out
those
of
who want
your
to venture.
free time. If you want to, I mean, it's not compulsory. And yeah, so just as a rule of thumb type of thing.
Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you. Okay, so Sunette has volunteered her fellow members in her room to bring up some other topics.
Yeah, thank you. In our group, there was an issue which was raised by those who are technically orientated, to say we can see in the WhatsApp group that most of the people that are there are mostly on the side of the soft skills. And now we do have a challenge to say, but will we ever get any networking? Because now the more people which are active on the group are in the side of the soft skills. And what about us as technical guys? What is there that we can do in order to bring more of the technical people? Because as you can see, even on the report or the feedback of the survey, you can see the mesetas and other, they are low because we are not that much in terms of the numbers on the group, and we are just few, like me and Joan right now. It's me and Joan. So yeah, it becomes a concern to say, then where can I help? Because the knowledge that I'm having is pertaining to technical skills.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah, valuable suggestion. I think first of all, pay it forward. Invite people in your area of influence to join as members. I mean, I think there's great value to be had for facilitators, your assessors and moderators. Yeah, please extend the invite learning professionals in general. They need to understand this framework well. And they may not want to be, have a designation as such, but to join and understand our world would be of great value. So please invite others to become members. And yes, I've put it in my DOS 3 to please invite you guys to come and just explain the trade test environment to us, because that's something that I would love to learn more about. Even if it's just a casual coffee and you guys can take me through it, that would be awesome. But yeah, thank you for your input, Simon.
I think from my side, just to add on to what Simon said, so I'm now quite new. I am a new member, so I still need to get to the rhythm of this. But I think for a start, what I think is important, especially for new members, is to understand, firstly, the engagement structure and the influence structure of this specific association. So earlier you mentioned that you are going to be part of the CETA CEO forum, for example. So I would like to understand those engagement frameworks so that we know what we need to raise and when. And then I think secondly for me is the mandate and the agenda of the specific association. So in my mind, and I didn't find a lot of information on the website, but where do we focus? And it could be at various levels, but in my mind, it should be very much at a strategic, tactical level. And like I said, at some stages, perhaps operational, if there's specific topics. And this is because the membership is so diverse. We all come from different environments. Like someone said, now we are the only guys from technical, and that tells me that the association should operate at a strategic, tactical level, and especially with regards to the changes in skills development legislation currently. I mean, with the National Skills Development Plan, there's various strategies, the QCTO that came out on your survey as the top one, because that touches all of our worlds, because it doesn't only focus on trades, but also occupations. And that leveling the playing field. So I think in my mind, I would like to, going forward, just understand the engagement and influence framework, and then what the mandate and the agenda is going to be going forward, so that all of us benefit from this association.
Some awesome suggestions. Thank you.
Oh, if I might add as well, as the last person in that group, yes, I think Simon was correct, as is Johan, that there is a need for an alignment of these diverse skills from technical. There got to be a point where these skills meet the soft and then the technical skills. And also on what Sonette said, I also agree on what she said. I'm more than welcome to assist in the part of, if you want to be an assessor or moderator with the services CETA. And I'm sure I will learn a lot as well about construction, because there are a lot of guys that I know who are running small businesses as construction businesses who are not taking full advantage of opportunities that are available out there. So I'm sure she will be able to give me a wealth of knowledge in that regard, in that area. So yeah. So as I said, it's the meeting point. That's where I think this association actually represents, to say, if you are far from the technical side, and then the far right, or maybe the far on the other side, let's say the soft skills, maybe there is a meeting point where we should be able to share the skills and grow from there. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Yes, definitely. because we do have commonality amongst all of us, and yeah, but we also need to meet the needs of you guys in the more technical occupations. And great, thank you.
Angela,
Michael,
if I may add. Yeah, sorry, if I may
Hi.
interrupt there. Hi
Please.
there. So from our group, what we made a recommendation is that if we have a contact list of all the different seaters in terms of the relevant people that we would engage with, whether we are permanently employed as SDFs or as consultants or as training providers or whatever role we have, where we know exactly who to contact for what within the divisions of each seater. I know, as I mentioned to the colleagues on that breakaway room, that there is in the internet but that there are these lists that are available from the seaters, but they're not always up to date. So, and it's difficult, I know, for someone within ASDA to go and then call all the seaters and get all this information. But if we want to share, maybe there's where we can put it somewhere that we can all know who to contact, because there's such movement going on at the seaters where people come and go, or they've moved up the ranks, and we don't know who to always contact that will deal with our particular issue that we have. And I think that will be helpful, because a lot of time gets wasted not knowing who are the decision makers or the administrators that deal with a particular issue at a seater.
Yes, yes. It would be awesome. A lot of people put it out on the WhatsApp group to say, who do I contact for assessment, or who do I contact for WSP support in the such and such a sector. So it does work well for some, perhaps not for the sectors that are not so readily represented in our association. The challenge there is that we could institute that. It would be great, but it's keeping it up to date that's going to get messy, because it's literally going to need someone to tackle that on a month-to-month basis to say, is this still the person? Is this still the person? That's very difficult, especially when most of us are volunteering for serving on the committees and what have you. It does become quite a burden. There's some of the chairpersons that are very active, as you can see on the WhatsApp group. But that's something that we can consider. Thank you, Michael.
Unless each of us that are either SDFs or are the stakeholders with those particular seaters, could each from our own seater then submit that, or if we get the information updated and just submit that to a central point, and somebody could then just collectively put it together, and then summarize it, maybe like that, as opposed to,
yeah, if you go on and you see, oh no, that's a person that's already left 3 months ago, then now just monitoring it from that point of view, that might be doable. Okay, thank you. Sunette, you got your hand? Oh no, that's me. Sorry, I thought you had your hand up. Okay, I don't know if anyone else wants to have a final word.
Yes, Angela. I just would like to find out something, because even though I could not say I'm new because there is things that has not been done on me, like the designation. I need to know if now I need to be given a designation, what should I do from now so that you can give me designation?
Okay, I know that we have forums on a regular basis. Angelique, if you can just jump in there, we do have forums where they guide a member on what they need to consolidate to become, be given a designation. Do we
Simon,
have some?
if you go onto the ASDSA website, there is a tab called designation. Now, if you go on there, there's 3 different designations. It's a skills development technician, a skills development practitioner, and a skills development master. Under each of those tabs, there is a SAQA description of each of those designations. So what I would suggest is download the SAQA description, read
Yes.
through that, see which one applies to you, and
Okay.
then you apply for the designation. So for
Okay.
example, for a technician, you'll have 3 years experience, and there's a few criteria that you'll need to meet in order to get your designation in that specific designation.
Okay.
Once you've decided on your designation, you can make application for that, and then we will send you an invoice. You make the payment for that, and then you are invited to submit a portfolio of evidence where you show us that that is the designation that is suitable for you.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, I heard you. And I know previously I've gone through one of the webinars where it was explained, but what you are mentioning now is new to me. I'll check and I'll make that application.
That's
Cool. I
fantastic.
will have a look out for it, Simon.
Okay.
Definitely, we need more members with their designations in place. That would be awesome. I think we are done for the day. Well, not done for the day. I'm sure we all have our work to go back to, but
It's
done with
Friday.
our
We can be done for the day.
So thank you all for your contributions. We will be in touch with future engagements. We'd also love to, when we meet in person, see if this virtual sessions, networking sessions are working for you, or if just not. I'm not sure. We'll have a chat about that when we meet in person. I see that Angelique has put a link on the chat for your CPD points, so don't forget to click on the link and make sure that you get your recognition for the CPD points. Michael, you've got your hand up.
Thanks, Angela. So just to ask, when do you think the in-person event will happen? More or less, to put in there.
I'm going to now leave Z in the dark here because we haven't had a chat about it. We were planning on doing something in October, but we haven't finalized anything as yet. So we'd love to meet in October. Yeah, let's see if we can arrange for something. Our challenge is if anyone has a venue that have, they have like a conference room or something that we could utilize, please let us know, because it does come at a cost and we are very limited in terms of budget. So if someone could perhaps host us, or we could just take turns hosting, that would be awesome. But it's always difficult when you don't know the numbers who are going to sort of put their hands up. We don't know if we're going to get 5 people or 50. So it's always difficult, but we definitely will arrange something. I think we can commit to definitely something before year end, Z.
Yeah. Look, I think, again, our limitations are budget constraints, but again, you're never really sure of the numbers. We're expecting 30 people today. In fact, I think 30 plus, and only a select few showed up. So I think it's also just the balance of, are we going to get the numbers and can we afford to do the sessions? But I think it's always good to connect face to face. There's something different about having people in the room versus being on a screen. So it's something that we definitely are planning to before year end.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mark. I know it's important to you. You've definitely fed back to me a number of times on when we're going to meet. So thank you for that. Thank you for putting your camera on. It's lovely to have a face behind the name. And Sanette, thank you. Lovely to chat with all of you. It's been awesome. I think we've got our road cut out ahead of us for 2023. We hope to at least meet your needs as a member organization, and looking forward to our in-person engagement. I hope to see all of you there, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
everyone.
So much.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, colleagues.
Bye, Johan. Thank you.